Hi guys, welcome again to another video. I am joined today by the lovely Yi once more.
In this matcha, it seems like the owner really appreciates the Zen meditative quality of a matcha, but doesn't like how often dark it can be. So he has chosen the very complementary architectural style of Scandinavia to also contribute to the space. And along the way, we're going to show you some examples.
It's not all somber and meditative though. There's a real creative streak that runs through the building, and we'll show you that as well. Perhaps most of all that you see Toshiro Mifune everywhere, and he was one of Akira Kurosawa's most prominent collaborators, and at one point in history, and in his time, the most famous Japanese actor known to the rest of the world.
And finally, you will see an appreciation of what is old and the efforts being made to highlight that fact instead of hiding it.
I am standing in the Genkan, and that is the entrance to any Japanese home. Now, this is the first place where we can see a great example of this sort of Scandinavian influence. So if you know anything about Scandinavian weather patterns, they're kind of similar to Vancouver. It's rainy and overcast all the time. And so for that reason, special consideration is given in their architecture to getting a little bit more extra light into the space. And that's what they've done here with the skylight. So a great way to really brighten up an otherwise quite dark part of the Machiya.
The living room is the first. You will notice how much space you have here, and what better space to enjoy some vinyl records. An interesting fact about our friend Mifune, who is hanging on the wall here, is, did you know he was actually born in Qingdao City, China, 1920?
The inner garden in a Machiya is definitely one of the signature characteristics that you're going to find here, and my personal favorite for so many reasons. One of which is that you get to enjoy all 4 seasons through the garden, so the leaves will change, and the weather as well is really nice. So if the stones are wet, if it's snowing, there's so many different characteristics. You get this sense of being connected to nature even within your home. And then it's great for airflow, which is a big thing in these buildings because they get so hot and cold, that if you open up these doors and then open up something at the front, you get this nice passage of air that pulls through, and it can be really refreshing.
We're going to point out how the old and new come to coexist in this house, and its wood is a great example. Anything renovated looks new as you expect. Anything old, they've left with its original color, which create a beautiful contrast. This is the first floor bathroom. It has a very minimal design. For example, there's no patterns on the wall. That, in addition to a view of the garden, makes it such a relaxing place to hang out.
Found our way to the kitchen now. So it's a big one, very nice, but it's more actually this hall that we're going to use to highlight the comparison once again between the Scandinavian and Japanese mindset for architecture and design. So in the Japanese Machiya, you have the mise no ma, the front, the naka no ma, the middle, and then you have the oku no ma, and that's the back. And they're accessible by often these earthen floors, having this kind of, once again, just like the garden, a natural connection to the outside, the fact that you have an earthen floor. Scandinavian architecture also appreciates this because they like to match surrounding materials and integrate them into the design, so something like a rock would become a part of the building itself. A little bit of interesting Machiya history. This is a Shin Machiya, and that is defined by it having been created after the 1950s. So in the 1950s, up until that point, Machiya were designed using pure joinery. That's to say that it was only wood with wood that was connected like complex Lego blocks to build a structure. 1950s onwards, they weren't allowed to do that anymore, so you couldn't call yourself an OG original Machiya. The spirit's still there, but some of that original art has been necessarily lost to time. Thanks so much for watching the video today, guys. Really appreciate it. It was cool for me to see how the Japanese architecture and the Scandinavian architecture could work so well together. It's something that I had no idea of.
And this is another example that people might think it is odd to have old mixed up with new, but actually it turns out harmoniously beautiful.
We'll catch you in the next one. That is all for now. Once again, really appreciate you guys. Take care out there. Bye-bye.
appreciate. In this
All good, all good, all good.
highlight the fact instead of hiding it.
Very, very close, very close. And if you want to check it out, we'll put a link up below. Up below doesn't make any sense. What the hell am I saying? Okay.